Amigo, não tem problema. Amigo, eu não tenho problema, amigo.
Oh, don't be, man. Sorry. Move back. Out the way, Willis, out the way. Out the way. You're gonna get knocked down. Move. Go. Stand back. Move back. This is the freedom. I'm coming to my process immigration.
What country are you from?
I'm from Western Somalia.
It just gets bad in here, man. I just don't want to be here no more. Just pray to God just. I'm just tired of you guys talking about me and just always talking shit. These guys just don't even know how to just leave me alone. I'm just so tired.
Somalians have caused a lot of trouble. They're ripping us off for a lot of money. There's a tremendous amount of money going back to Somalia. What the hell are we paying money to Somalia for?
Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Now recently we have seen so many Somalis being deported back to their countries, and the reason is because the president of the US, Donald Trump, announced an immediate end of TPS. This means that they were no longer protected and ICE have the authority to deport them back to their country. Now the reason as to why this is happening is because recently most of them, or rather their leaders, were accused of fraud and gang activities. Now whatever is happening is very sad. It is sad to see people being separated with their loved ones. It is very sad to see parents being separated with their children and vice versa. But what really got my attention is the things that I heard some of these people had to say about the only community that loved them, the only community that protected them, the only community that made it possible for them to go to US and be able to live there, and not just live there but live there peacefully and also be able to make a gain. Before I continue with my full commentary, I would like us to take a look at a few of these videos and I will be back with more commentary. Stay tuned and also let me know what you think on the comment section.
Most of the people that we meet, especially African Americans, they don't even know their fathers. They don't even know their fathers. It was all of them, most of them were the product of one night stand. One night stand. They will tell you, I don't know my father. Well, who named you? Whose name are you carrying? Well, my mother chose his name for me. I don't know. Is that what we want for our ummah? No. كلهم أو معظمهم أبناء الزنا. أبناء الزنا. Why? Because man, he has to give up the seed. And because the marriage will limit them, they will go from one to another to a third.
We love our brothers and sisters who are Democrats, but you left us. And because the left left us, join the right, vote for Trump.
We're here gathered today with community leaders, business leaders, and youth leaders from the Somali community and from the Muslim community in Minnesota to fully support and endorse President Trump.
I don't care if I'm the first person to say this, but us Somalis are not black.
Somalis are not black. Let me explain why. Looking at me right now, chat, am I black? I'm literally brown. I'm literally brown, bro. Think about it as well. Somalis are Arabs. We're in the Arab leagues. We speak the Arab language. We eat the Arab food. Bro, think about it like this, bro. If a whole community doesn't regard themselves as black, we can't be black, bro. We literally can't be black, bro. Boogie, did you eat your brain cells? Really and truly, Somalis are Arabs, bro. Think about it, bro. We're in the Arab leagues. We speak the Arab language. Bro, tell me I'm not lying, bro.
Now, to hear someone make such accusations about the black people, it is very sad. It is so sad to hear someone insult a black person because These are the people that made it possible for you to go and live there in the US. These are the people that literally fought for the civil rights. They fought for your freedom. They fought for your peace. They literally fought for everything. They fought with their blood and they never got tired. And that is the reason as to why you are able to live in the US. You are able to make a living there. You can get employed. I think it is high time we start respecting the Black Americans. Because had it not been for the Black people, life would be very different for every person, especially those in the US. And please stop denying the color of your skin, because that is the only power the people that have oppressed you, the people that continue to oppress you, have over you, because they think, or they will tell you, that they are better than you because of the color of your skin. And no matter how much you try to blend with them, no matter how much you try to bring yourself close to them, you will never be part of them, and they will show you that each and every day. And that is exactly what is happening today to the Somali community, because they may have thought that they are close to the white people as opposed to the Black Americans, but today they are being told otherwise. They are told that you are not part of us and you are not one of us and you will never be one of us.
Ladies and gentlemen, we finally got the news we have all been waiting for. Somali welfare queen Ilhan Omar's time in the United States is officially coming to an end, and it can't happen quick enough. Donald Trump dropped a Thanksgiving Truth Social post revealing that his Somali fatigue has officially boiled over, and he is going further than just deporting Somalis illegally present in Minnesota. He is beginning the denaturalization process for Somali U.S. citizens that are enemies of the country. And he specified by name that the first person on his chopping block is none other than Ilhan Omar. But let's start with Ilhan Omar at a Somali conference in Minnesota calling the president of Somalia her president.
madaxweynaha Soomaaliya madaxweyne Xasan Sheikh Maxamuud inaan maanta ku soo dhaweyno Minneapolis. aniga iyo madaxweynaha special relationship aan qabnaa. aniga adeeraan ugu waxa asigana gabarteeyo idhaha. madaxweyne sidii qof kasta uu yiri mininkaaga waaye ku soo dhawow Minneapolis. aad iyo aad aan ugu faraxsanahay in maanta madaxweynaheena aad tahay. Soomaaliya dadka meeshaan wada joogo dhan waa gurigooda, anaga ma dareensanihin in ay naga tahay meel naga fog. Soomaaliya wadnaheenay ku nooshahay, qalbigeenay ku jirtaa, maalin kasta aan ka fikirnaa Soomaaliya.
So at this point, you guys know I love to start these videos with some insane clip of Ilhan Omar, a sitting United States congressperson, declaring her allegiance to Somalia in one form or another. And I'm able to do that because there's so many. She's so open about it. I'm not being hyperbolic when I say the Somali diaspora in Minnesota sees themselves as a satellite state of Somalia. That's why she called the president of Somalia our president. That's why she said, welcome to your home in Minnesota, because they see Minnesota as some far-off province of Somalia. There has never been a country on God's green earth that has been more welcoming to immigrants than the United States. And that only works if the citizens don't feel like their kindness is being taken advantage of, and the people coming here are making a concerted effort to assimilate and integrate into the society and culture. But as we know, the Somali community is not doing that. In fact, they are forcing the residents of Minneapolis to assimilate and accept their way of life and their culture. And they're scamming the taxpayer to the tune of billions of dollars from programs that are intended to help the children of Minnesota. So they're not doing either of the things required to make immigration work.
Say to her, I think I wrote it on the back of the sheet. Here we go. She was born in Somalia, right? She represents Minneapolis. The president of Somalia, the Somalian Democratic Republic, his name is Mohammed Said Barre. He really was a dictator, and he ran Somalia into the ground. And as a result, America opened its arms after that civil war and welcomed thousands, tens of thousands of those people to our country, a place of peace and a place of democratic values. And she has the audacity to look us in the eye and say that President Trump is a dictator? It's insane, and it should be infuriating to everybody. And it's the view. It's a lack of perspective about how special this country is. That we have a constitution that's endured for 240 years. President Trump is doing the best he can.
Somalis in Minnesota were just caught for committing their largest welfare fraud scheme yet. This fraud is so massive, Donald Trump is being forced to step in and address it. Not only did they steal it in the most egregious way possible, but it was uncovered that they were using the stolen taxpayer money to fund an Islamic terrorist group back in Somalia. As always, like the video and subscribe to the channel. You're going to want to stick around for this, but let's start by hearing from the ringleader in all of this, sitting United States Congresswoman Ilhan Omar.
waan ahay gabar Mareykanka laga doortay oo Congress-ka Mareykanka ku jirto laakiin waxaan ahay gabar Soomaaliyeed gabar idinku jinsi ah gabar idinku af ah gabar idinku diin ah oo ahade qof iyadoo da'yar wadankeedii laga kaxeeyay wili xiise u qabto in maalin wadankeedii ay ku noolaato oo dadkeedii wax ay la wadaagto marka alxamdulillah waxaan rajaynayaa aniga iyo ilmahayga in aan hadde ku barbaariyo iyagana ilmahooda ay ku barbaariyaan dhulkii aniga aan ku soo koray taasna haddii ay suurtagelayso waa hadda shaqo badan inaan wada qabanaa hadduu Ilaahay yiraahdo.
I don't think it's a coincidence that a United States Congresswoman frequently and openly admits she does not view herself as an American, but a Somalian. She's furious and resentful that she was brought here. She misses it. She loves it. She wants to move back there again. She wants to raise her children and grandchildren there. But there's a lot of work that needs to be done first to make it more stable and prosperous. Is connected to every major Somali fraud ring that is robbing the Minnesota and federal taxpayer. We willingly allowed an entire diaspora of people whose culture is predicated on corruption, violence, and piracy to come settle in the United States. And now the very first generation of kids they have here who are U.S. citizens are engaging in the same behavior that made Somalia unlivable. They're the most welfare-dependent immigrant group in the United States. They were already caught stealing $300 million in COVID relief funding that was meant for hungry children with the help of a self-hating white liberal lady.
Trump just ended the protection for Somalis, the ones in Minnesota. He said it's over for them, to send them back to where they came from on his true social media. He's tired of them scamming Minnesota out of hundreds of millions of dollars. He must have heard about that Feed the Kids scam, where they said that they was feeding hundreds of thousands of kids, but they weren't. And he's tired of them terrorizing the people of Minnesota. This is Trump on his true social media. We all know that Minnesota is the home of the largest Somali community in the country. Now, we don't know how this is going to play out. We don't know if they're going to go in stealth mode and send the National Guard into Minnesota. We just don't know how he's going to implement it, or if it's even legal to do. But you know, we're talking about Trump. Trump, he don't care. He don't listen to the judges. When he said it's over so far.
In this country, we do not blame the lawlessness of an individual on a whole community. What we also know is that there is not a single evidence that the president or his coolies have put forth that there are any single resource from taxpayers in Minnesota that has gone to aid and abet terrorism. That language is dangerous. That language puts the lives of Somalis not only in Minnesota, but across the country in danger. And if the president believed that and he had evidence, he would take people to court. So we are sick and tired of the president waking up one day and deciding to put forth falsehoods and demonize whole communities, while the ignorant people that support him then take the lies that he's spreading and use it as a fact. We've seen it during the campaign where he said Asians were eating cats and dogs. We've seen his vice president repeat those lies we've seen the media run it as a headline as if it was a fact. That is shameful. That is shameful. That is ignorant. It makes us look like a stupid nation that does not believe in truth but traffics in lies. It makes the world mock us, and we are better than that. We are better than that as Americans.
Families need the relief. We need leaders who will invest in our neighbors, not attack them. The Somali community in Minnesota is a backbone of the state. We contribute to the economy, we serve our communities, we raise families, and we do it with pride. We move to communities in greater Minnesota that have been decimated by the bad practices of the big corporation interests. And big brings small local business, like here today, multi-generational income and help with restoration. I am saying this to say we are greater than fear, and to my Somali community, iskasha tomakufto, which means when people stand together, they do not fall. We will continue to show up for one another with courage. Thank you.
This is what happens when you fight the only person you would call a neighbor. This is what happens when you are left with no ally. And this is exactly what is happening to the Somali community. When they came into the United States, they started treating the Black Americans as though they are their enemies. They started seeing them as lesser than. And not only that, but they also refused to be identified with the Black Americans. They refused to be identified with the Black people, and even went as far as saying very nasty things about the Black community and even insulting them. Now, me and you, we know that as long as you're not palm colored, you will never be one of them. You will never be accepted by them. You will never be part of them. And they may accept you for a while when you're doing the things that are benefiting to them. But the moment you stop benefiting them, things suddenly change. And this is exactly what is happening to the Somali community. They literally went ahead and voted for someone that was not for them. They voted for someone whose policies did not align with their interests, despite being wanted by the Black people, because all throughout the campaigns, the Black people came out in large numbers and want everyone not to vote against their own best interests. But as most people do, they ignored them. They called them woke. They insulted them. And what's even worse is that Donald Trump was very clear about his deportation policies. He said that once he gets into government, he was going to deport a lot of people. But the problem is, most of these Somali people thought that they were immune to those policies. They thought that these policies would not affect them. Actually, they thought that these policies would affect the Black people. They thought that the Black people would be deported. And that is very wild. They intentionally voted for Donald Trump so that the Black people could be deported to where we all don't know, because that is very hilarious. Now, the same policies that they voted for, they are affecting them. They are now the ones that are being deported, because once Donald Trump announced the end of TPS, that is when they immediately became the victims of the ICE agents. And that is what is happening to them. They are now being deported in large numbers. They are now being racially profiled. And they thought that that would never happen to them. But it's very sad that it's now happening to them. And I would say that this is a wake-up call to every other community that thinks that they are better than the Black Americans, that think that they will not be treated the way the Black Americans have been treated for years. We saw what happened to the Venezuelans, we saw what happened to the Latino community, and now it is happening to the Somali community. Just know that as long as you're not palm-colored, you will never be accepted by them. They will never see you as them. They will never see you as one of them, because you are different. You look different. And no matter how much you try to deny your race, no matter how much you try to deny who you are, those people that see you know exactly who you are, and they know that you are not one of them. At this point, all I can hope for is that those that are being illegally deported, they get to get their justice. And to the families that are being separated, I hope that you get peace and I hope that you get justice. But most importantly, I hope that you get to learn your lesson. I hope that you get to stick together, not just with your people, but with every person that is going through the same thing that you're going through. Because were it not for the black people, you would not be able to go to the US. It is the black people that fought for the civil rights. It is the black Americans that made it possible for you to go there and live there. And not just live there, but live there peacefully. And for you to go there and insult them and denounce them, that was something that is not acceptable. And I hope that you change moving forward. Guys, we have come to the end of our episode. Thank you so much for watching up to this point. If you're new here, this is Talk with Kate. If you haven't subscribed, kindly consider subscribing to this channel, like this video and share. Until the next episode, bye.